Here's your Storm Track 7 forecast.
Good afternoon, Eastern Iowa. I'm Storm Track 7 meteorologist Danny Cassidy. Of course, today is a Storm Track 7 red alert day, our first of the winter for snowfall related. We had one for ice related, but now that big snowfall event that we've been kind of waiting and seeing, is it going to happen? It's finally happening, and it is due to heavy snow, blowing snow that could cause that dangerous travel, especially reduced visibility since that snow is so light and powdery, and any wind, even after it's falling, could reduce that visibility. So the main snowfall is through midnight, but we can still see that blowing snow, as I mentioned, after midnight once it's done falling. That is also when these winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories expire through about midnight tonight. You can see much of the area under that winter storm warning, the rest of the area under the winter weather advisory, but that's just in terms of snowfall accumulations. No matter where you are, we could definitely see some slick travel out there, So we expect this to continue throughout the afternoon into the evening hours. The heaviest has kind of been in a line kind of connecting Tama to Dubuque, and then south and east of there, some parts of Jones and Cedar County getting upwards of 6 inches of snowfall, and that's as of this recording at about 11:30. This will continue about 6 o'clock, and then it'll start to taper off on our northern and western edge there. And then I think, especially by midnight, but even maybe by 10 o'clock, we will see it taper off and end. But as I mentioned, that wind could still produce some blowing and drifting snow because of how cold it is. And another thing with how cold it is that the treatments aren't as great, and that snow is going to stick around quite a bit because of how cold it is. And obviously, the warmer it is, the easier it is to melt. So that's something to note, that even into Thursday morning, the snow has stopped for about 6 or 7 hours. It could still be pretty slick, especially on untreated. Inside roads, sidewalks could also be slick as well. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, the low temperatures are going to be below zero, and then we'll see some sunshine tomorrow, but it's not going to probably be warm enough just by warmth itself to melt it, but thankfully the sun should help at least a little bit. So this is additional snowfall from what we've already seen so far, from about noon to midnight, 1 inch to 2 inches here for our light blue areas, including New Hampton, Decorah, Oelwein, just on the edge there, and the Cedar Valley is kind of on the edge as well as Elkader. South and east, 2 to 4 additional inches. So some areas could maybe get close to 10 inches of snowfall, especially in that band, again, stretching from about Tama to Dubuque and then kind of through the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Monticello, and Cedar County regions. In terms of the wind aspect, winds are going to be pretty gusty at times, 20 to 25 miles per hour, and those sustained winds are going to be about 10 to 15 even through the overnight hours and then into the day tomorrow as well. So even a little bit of blowing snow could be an issue tomorrow. And notice it's out of the north-northwest, so that is cold air moving in. And it'll get pretty cold, especially for our northern and western areas tonight. A cold weather advisory in effect. As we've mentioned before, this is the same thing as a wind chill advisory, just the National Weather Service has changed the terminology, but the definition is the same. It's going to be cold. We'll be in the wind chills anywhere from about 20 to 30 below. That means frostbite is as little as 30 minutes. So if you're out late tonight into early tomorrow, make sure you do have the proper gear if you're heading outside. As we head through the day today, you're going to notice that there's really not much relief. Many areas will stay in the single digits. Some may stay below zero, especially in our northern and western areas where that wind chill, or excuse me, see, I'm still saying it, even the cold weather advisory will be. You go to bed tonight, many areas below zero, and then by tomorrow morning, you can see, even if you're not in the advisory, it's still going to be chilly from about 15 to as low as 30 below for that wind chill. And then during the day tomorrow, like it is today, it's going to be even a little worse, even with sunshine. That wind chill is still going to be pretty chilly. So for today, as I mentioned, single digits for wind chills. Some areas still could be below zero for much of the day. Tonight, anywhere from 15 to 30 below. During the day tomorrow, 10 below to 5 above. And then Thursday night, not as cold, but still pretty chilly, 20 below to 10 below. Tomorrow, we will see some sunshine, high temperatures in the low to mid-teens, upper single digits there in New Hampton. Winds won't be as bad, but still any little bit of wind, as it's this cold, about 20 degrees below normal. That any little bit of wind can impact that wind chill pretty greatly. So after a break from the snow tomorrow, we'll have another chance, it looks like, Friday afternoon and then on and off through the day on Saturday. So it's a yellow alert day for now because it looks like we could see some plowable snow, meaning 2 inches of snowfall or more. But now it's kind of flipped the area at least. This snow system that's coming through now is for more of our southern and eastern areas, or I should say southern areas in particular. Now this one looks more, it's going to be for our northern areas. So those of you that may have missed out on the snow and want that snow, it looks like your turn may be coming here on Friday. So Friday morning will start out fine. That Friday morning commute, if everything's been treated pretty well, there's going to be no additional snowfall, that's for sure. But then Friday afternoon, you're going to notice a little bit of a band. We have a little bit of a disturbance aloft that's going to create some lift. and kind of generates snowfall basically right over eastern Iowa. It's almost like it's just dropping like from the sky right at us. You can see some darker blues, especially to the northeast. Central Wisconsin's kind of the brunt of this area, but we still could see some here in northeastern Iowa and just eastern Iowa in general. It looks like Friday night it could taper off a little bit. Again, on and on Friday night into the day on Saturday. Looks like it kind of picks back up during the day Saturday. Look, again, you see those darker blues, especially to the north and to the east there. That'll continue about Saturday evening, and then I think it should taper off by about midnight, maybe linger on our southeastern edge midnight, but for sure wrap up by Sunday morning, and then that moves out there. Since we're a few days out, totals are still kind of being determined. I think tomorrow we'll have a little bit of a better idea. But I showed you this last week for this upcoming system, and here's kind of the current look for this. So the heavier snow, as I mentioned, looks like it's going to be north and east, and the brunt of it, kind of the bullseye, is in Wisconsin right here. So heavier snow, meaning that plowable snow, 2 inches or more, and then the lighter snow for south and west, maybe less than an inch for that area. So I think most of the areas should see at least a little bit of snow, but these northern and eastern areas, I think, are going to see the brunt. So stay up to date on the forecast there, because, yeah, we are not done with the snow quite yet. It's one of those things where, yeah, we didn't have it all season. It was only sooner or later that we were going to get it. Your city-by-city forecast for Waterloo, Dubuque, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City. So snow today, break tomorrow, snow during the afternoon and evening hours on Friday, then linger on and off into the day on Saturday. The big thing here is that with Friday and Saturday's system, temperatures will be a little bit warmer, so it's not going to be as fluffy and powdery. So that may help a little bit with blowing snow, but then now you have, it's heavier, it's a little bit harder to shovel. So that's kind of take or break there, but at least for the kids, it'll be a lot easier to build snowmen and forts. So after Saturday, that moves out, and then much colder air moves in. This usually happens after big snowstorms like this. Very cold on Sunday with strong winds. Teens below zero for low temperature Sunday night. Maybe an isolated chance of snow Monday. And look at that, the following week, although we're pretty dry, temperatures are very chilly, especially during the overnight hours.